What if your everyday bowl of oatmeal could quietly clear your arteries? Imagine that little morning ritual doing more than filling you up, that it was slowly repairing your blood vessels, calming inflammation, and easing the pressure on your heart. Stay with me. By the time you finish this, you'll know the one tiny addition that turns breakfast into a real, steady health upgrade. Arteries don't clog in a day. They change slowly, inch by inch, from soft and flexible to stiff and narrow. Tiny bits of cholesterol start to cling. Inflammation acts like glue. Over years, the pipe gets tighter. That's why older adults wake up feeling more tired, short of breath, or foggy-headed. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. But it's cumulative, and it's fixable if you give the body the right daily tools. Oatmeal already helps. The soluble fiber in oats, beta-glucan, works like a sponge in the bloodstream. It grabs excess cholesterol and slows sugar spikes. Regular oat eaters show lower cholesterol numbers and steadier energy. But oats can't tackle everything. They're helpful, not heroic. If you want to push back against plaque, lower stubborn LDL, and calm arterial inflammation, you need an ally that brings something oats don't have enough of. That ally is simple: 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed every morning. Yes, a single spoonful. Ground flaxseed brings 3 things in one small package: plant-based omega-3s, ALA, concentrated fiber, and lignans, plant compounds that act as antioxidants and gentle hormone modulators. Together they work on inflammation, blood lipids, nitric oxide production, and gut health. The result is not an instant cure, but a steady, measurable shift toward healthier arteries. Here's how those parts work. ALA calms inflammation. Inflammation is the reason cholesterol sticks and plaque forms. When those inflammatory signals quiet, the inner lining of the arteries, the endothelium, relaxes and smooths out. That makes it harder for plaque to bind and easier for blood to move. The fiber in flaxseed binds bile and cholesterol in the gut, helping the body excrete what it doesn't need. Lignans act as antioxidants and can gently influence hormone metabolism, which matters for arterial flexibility, especially in older women. Ground flaxseed is the full package. Whole seeds often pass through undigested, so grinding is essential. This isn't just theory. Multiple trials show modest but real drops in LDL cholesterol and blood pressure when people add roughly 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed daily for weeks to months. Don't expect miracle numbers overnight. Expect steady improvement, lower LDL, slightly reduced systolic and diastolic readings, and better circulation over time. Think of it as an investment. Small, consistent actions compound. 1 tablespoon repeated daily begins to change the environment inside your arteries. How to actually use it is almost embarrassingly simple. Cook your oatmeal the way you like it, water or milk. When it's almost done, stir in a tablespoon of freshly ground flaxseed. Don't cook it long. Heat can degrade the delicate fats. Top with a few berries for extra antioxidants, a pinch of cinnamon for blood sugar balance, and maybe some chopped nuts for texture. If you prefer yogurt or smoothies, you can mix the flax into those instead. Store whole seeds in the pantry and grind fresh, or keep pre-ground flax in the fridge to preserve those omega-3s. That small step, grinding and refrigerating, makes the difference between wasting nutrients and actually benefiting from them. Within a few days, you may notice smoother digestion. Flaxseed's mix of soluble and insoluble fiber keeps the gut moving and supports detoxification. Within weeks, people often report steadier energy, clearer skin, and lighter, more sustained wakefulness. The cardiovascular changes build quietly. Blood vessels relax, nitric oxide production improves, and blood pressure can drift lower. These internal shifts translate into external wins. Less fatigue, clearer thinking, a lighter sensation in the chest and limbs, and, over months, better blood test results. There are a few things to know before you make this part of your routine. Ground flaxseed oxidizes, so freshness matters. Grind whole seeds with a coffee grinder or by sealed ground flax and keep it cold. If you're on blood pressure medication, blood thinners, or have complex medical conditions, check with your clinician first. Flaxseed can interact with medications rarely, and it can accentuate blood thinning or blood pressure effects in some people. Also, fiber needs water. When you increase flaxseed, increase your fluids. Otherwise, you might get bloated or uncomfortable. Let's dig a little deeper into how this single habit nudges multiple systems toward health. First, nitric oxide. This tiny molecule tells blood vessels when to relax. When nitric oxide levels are healthy, vessels expand, circulation improves, and blood pressure stays friendlier. Age and oxidative stress reduce nitric oxide, but the combination of ELA and antioxidants in flaxseed protects the endothelium and helps maintain nitric oxide production. Better nitric oxide means better blood flow to the brain, the heart, and the skin, and that's why simple dietary changes can yield noticeable boosts in energy and mental clarity. Next, hormones and lignans. Lignans are phytoestrogens. They interact with hormone pathways in subtle ways. For women in and after menopause, that can mean gentler hormone balance without synthetic hormones. Lignans help clear excess estrogen metabolites and reduce oxidative stress, which supports arterial elasticity. The effects are not dramatic hormone replacement. They're steady nudges that protect tissues and calm inflammation. For anyone, the antioxidant effects of lignans help shield blood vessels from damage and reduce the chronic irritation that attracts cholesterol. Gut health is part of the story too. The fiber in flaxseed feeds beneficial bacteria. A healthier microbiome produces metabolites that reduce systemic inflammation and help keep blood vessels responsive. Soluble fiber binds cholesterol and bile, lowering the pool of circulating cholesterol available to form plaque. Insoluble fiber supports regular elimination, which prevents reabsorption of toxins. Together, these effects lighten the liver's workload and keep your bloodstream cleaner. There's also a magnesium connection. Flaxseed contains minerals like magnesium that support muscle relaxation, including the smooth muscle that lines your arteries. When magnesium levels are adequate, vessels relax more easily. That subtle mineral support helps lower resistance in the circulatory system and supports normal blood pressure rhythms. What can you realistically expect? If you add 1 tablespoon daily and keep it up, you'll likely notice internal improvements in weeks and more measurable changes in months. Blood pressure can drop a few points. LDL can drift lower by a small but meaningful percent. Those numbers matter. Clinical studies show that even modest reductions in LDL and blood pressure reduce long-term risk. The key is that flaxseed doesn't mask symptoms. It feeds the body materials it needs to heal, and that healing builds over time. Let's be practical. Use ground flaxseed in oatmeal, smoothies, yogurt, pancakes, or sprinkled on salads. 1 tablespoon is a great start. 2 is often used in studies for stronger effects. Keep a small coffee grinder or by pre-ground stored in the fridge. Add it at the end of cooking to protect the omega-3s. Drink more water. If you're taking medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or blood thinning, time your flaxseed away from certain meds or talk to your doctor about safe timing. If you notice unusual bruising, lightheadedness, or digestive issues, slow the dose and consult a clinician. There are a few common questions worth answering. Can flaxseed oil work instead? Oil gives you ELA but misses fiber and lignans. Whole seeds. They're nutritious but often pass intact and aren't fully absorbed. Ground seed gives you the full benefit. Will it replace medication? Not usually. For many people, it complements medical treatment and in some cases reduces reliance on meds over long supervised changes, but don't stop prescribed drugs without medical supervision. Is it safe in pregnancy? Talk to your doctor. Phytoestrogens and concentrated nutrients require specialist advice in that context. Think about habits, not miracles. We chase dramatic protocols and expensive pills, but much of health is cumulative. One small, consistent habit repeated daily becomes a habit that rewires physiology. Flaxseed is cheap, accessible, and gentle. It doesn't demand perfection. It asks for repetition. A tablespoon today, tomorrow, and next week adds up. Over months, you're feeding your arteries oxygen-rich blood, less sticky cholesterol, and a calmer inflammatory environment. Now imagine your morning bowl differently. Instead of a convenience meal that simply fuels you for a few hours, it becomes a deliberate act of repair. You're not cooking a medicine. You're choosing a small, science-backed habit that nudges circulation, supports the liver, and steadies blood lipids. That's the power of consistent, simple nutrition. A final thought: the ripple effects matter. Better circulation supports sleep, mood, skin, and cognition. Health isn't compartmentalized. When arteries work better, the heart doesn't strain as much, the brain gets more oxygen, the kidneys filter more efficiently, and daily energy rises. These are subtle changes at first, but they compound. Try this as a 30-day experiment. Measure how you feel. Perhaps check blood pressure at home and notice energy, digestion, and sleep. Ground a tablespoon of flaxseed into your oatmeal each morning. Make small adjustments as needed. If you stick with it, the payoff is quiet, real, and cumulative. Steadier blood numbers, calmer inflammation, and a daily habit that supports the long, slow work of keeping arteries flexible. That's it. Small, practical, and rooted in evidence. One spoonful, one bowl, one steady habit that nudges your body back toward balance. Give it a month and see what shifts.